So we're going to take this whole hour working into a pose called, are you ready for this? Eka Pada Raja Kapotasana. Repeat after me. An easier name for this pose is Swan Pose. And it's a back bending posture that's also a hip opener and a chest stretch. So we're going to take this class, the whole class, to open up our hips, stretch our hip flexors, work into some back bending, and open the chest. And then at the very end of class, we'll try this big, beautiful pose called Swan. All right? So start in a seated position the way we always do. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Close your eyes if you like, and just breathe in and out of your nose. As we begin this practice, I offer you the image of a swan. So if you can picture a clear, calm body of water and a beautiful swan just gliding across the surface of the water. Its head held high. Just the image is serene, isn't it? So as you hold that image, I'd like you to just create that serene sensation in your body. And as you inhale, the spine lifts tall. As you exhale, just imagine this soft gliding across calm, clear water. Just let yourself transcend into a new place. A place where for this hour there are no to-do lists. There's no future, there's no past. There's just us here on our mats. Give yourself permission to keep coming back here when your mind wanders. We're going to get started right away with some hip openers. So I'm sitting on a cushion. You can do that if you like. Bring the soles of your feet together. Shift your body forward so you're almost coming off the front of the pillow that you're sitting on. We're going to hold onto the ankles and lift the chest up and forward. And you'll already notice a nice little stretch in the inner thighs, the groin, and a little bit more space up and down your spine. Inhale, take a tiny back bend. And exhale, round your body forward, let your elbows start to press on the insides of your legs. And let's move with breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to press. Coming to an upright position, take your right hand onto your right knee, left hand on the floor, and I'm going to go just slightly behind me so I can kind of lean back and just press into the floor, press into the leg. Just some very preliminary opening for the hips. And then switch left hand to left knee, right hand behind, press to the floor, press to the knee. Just breathe into that sensation. And coming back to center, draw the knees in. We're going to come around to a tabletop position. And let's do some cat and cow with extra attention to cow. So I want you to inhale into this position and hold while you take a few breaths. Starting to introduce the muscles of the back to this position of strength, which we'll use later. Let your belly stretch. Take another deep breath in here. And on the exhale, draw the navel to the spine, belly button in, come down into cat. Stretch out all those muscles. And now we'll just move with our breath. Each time we come to cow, it's a little more familiar, that position of strength. And then press your hips back to child's pose, but come forward again. And we'll come a little more forward, almost like an upward facing dog. Let's move with our breath forward and back. Our intention is to just get the hips nice and warm so they don't cause us any restriction when we try our final pose today. And come back up to tabletop, bring your knees a little closer together and just start to shift your hips from side to side. One knee might come up off the ground, that's fine. Just start to find those outer edges. We're just looking for looseness and ease here. I got you some fun lo-fi hip hop music today. I thought would be fun with all this hip stuff we're doing. Tuck your toes, come to center, and let's lift up into down dog. Continue that wiggly, stretchy movement, pressing the heels. Starting to work our way down into those hamstrings, the backs of the knees. And then slowly walking the feet to the hands. Let's lift halfway. Again, find that cow-like position in your back, that strength in the back. Hold here. Few breaths. Shoulders wrap onto the back. Press on your shins. Take another deep breath. Lift the chest a little more. And then exhale, forward fold. Knees can be bent. We'll come back to that half lift and then sweep the arms all the way up, extended mountain. Take some time here to stretch through the side body, one arm at a time, up and over. We're going to start to bring up the heat just a little bit. We want our muscles to be nice and toasty today. These are going to be some really deep, deep stretches. You want your body to be ready. Let's go one more time to each side. And then reach high, sweep the arms low, exhale, reach high. Put a great big bend in your knees. If you're a skier, this is kind of the action you would do if you were on a flat road and you really wanted to cover some ground. Dig that snow with your poles and pull backwards. Start to make your breath louder. In through your nose, you can breathe out of your mouth. 3 more. And then inhale, lift your arms tall. Exhale, slow swan dive, forward fold. Press to your shins and lift halfway. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Let's inhale to plank pose. You can drop your knees or stay on your toes. Exhale, lower halfway down, chaturanga. And then come to the floor, roll your shoulders into cobra. Let's pause here again, another back strengthening pose. And pressing back, downward facing dog. Press one heel to the ground and then the other. Just notice what's starting to loosen up. Is your body getting warmer? Looking forward, bring your feet to your hands and lift halfway. Make that cow shape in your back. And then exhale, forward fold. Rise high, extended mountain, maybe a little back bend here, and hands to heart. Gorgeous. Let's do that one more time. That's a sun salutation. Reach high, exhale, bow low. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa, come forward onto your knees or your toes and lower halfway down. Rise up and lift your hips. Down dog. Full deep breaths here, everybody. And walking the feet forward, we'll lift halfway and we'll fold all the way down. Sweep the arms high, extended mountain, and bring your hands to your heart. Amazing. Okay, everybody grab your yoga strap or a belt or a tie. And so now that we're a little bit warmer, we're going to start with shoulders. We'll get those ready and then we'll move down through the rest of the body. So you're going to bring your strap nice and wide. Mine's super long, so I'm going to double it. Take a good firm foundation and then bring your strap up and around. We're just going to do that a few times. So make your strap as long as you need to give you room to go up and over. If that creates any pain in your shoulders, you just need a little longer strap. And if that's easy, come a little closer. Bring your hands a little closer together. This is called shoulder flossing. And we just want to make sure it feels smooth, it glides easy on both sides. Next time we come back, we're going to hold in that place where it feels a little stiff, sticky, resistant, and we're going to hover up and down. So push your chest forward, keep your belly in, and just hover up and down until you just start to feel it. You're going to build some heat. Starts to feel a little easier, a little more glidey, a little less sticky. We're going to need that action a little bit later. And then let the band come down behind you and start to walk your hands closer together. So you're going to get a grip that's just about as wide as your hips. Standing with the feet about hip distance apart, just press back. Feel the backs of your shoulders work. Feel the front of your chest open. And release. Inhale to lift. Exhale, draw back in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, draw back in. And this time we're going to inhale, lift, and hinge forward from the hips. Let those arms come up and over. Bend your knees as much as you need to support your back. And then just let gravity pull the arms into their farthest extension. Shoulder extension, arms behind you. Breathe. And release, soften the knees, set the strap off to one side, and then just let your arms hang down, maybe ragdoll, or maybe just touch your fingers to the floor, and let there be looseness and ease in your shoulders. Heel toe your feet a little closer together, and we're going to step our left foot back, dropping our left knee to the ground. So this is going to be a combo preparation for the hips and also the shoulders. So let's start with coming forward and back. Hip flexors and hamstrings. We'll just keep making our way through and around the body, making sure that all the parts stay warm and have a little more range of motion for us. So go ahead and come forward into your kneeling lunge. You can press your hand to the floor or your block. We're going to circle the right arm. So it comes up and around and back down. This backward position is where we will eventually end up in the full expression of our pose. So you want to make sure that just gets greased, lubricated, nice and easy. Reach the fingers to the wall behind you and either stay like this or lift your foot and come toward that heel or ankle. Maybe grab, if not, just reach in that direction. Breathe deep, everybody. Let's release. We'll bring that hand around. Tucking the back toes, lift the knee off the ground, and let's rise up. And now we're going to circle both arms. So nice big shoulder circles. You might find a little back bend there. One more nice giant circle. And then let your hands come to the floor. Step your back foot to meet your front foot. Pause to let your arms hang, relax your shoulders. Notice any difference in your legs, your hips. And we'll keep our left foot where it is. Step the right foot back and drop the knee. So starting with forward and back, hip flexor to hamstring. At this point, this is just exploration of your body. So maybe close your eyes and feel. Let your attention stay here with the image of that graceful swan floating across calm, clear water. Just moving your body like that without forcing and straining. Just that ease, that beauty, that gracefulness. We'll come forward for a twist. So right hand on the floor or a block, left arm circles. This gives us a chance to look at the places where there are kinks, blocks, restrictions, and just move gently with compassion around those parts of our bodies. Let's reach back, hold here. You can just look in that direction, or if you like, pick up your foot, get a little quad stretch as you reach toward or onto your foot. Breathe here. Good stuff. And then let's release this. Step the back, tuck the back toes under and lift the arms high. Let's circle both arms. Nice big circles. Shoulders opening and also starting that little back bend. Shoulders wrap onto the back as you come through. And then we'll place both of our hands on the ground. Let's step back into downward facing dog. You have the option to take a vinyasa if you like. You can throw in a few push-ups to keep your heart rate up, keep your body warm. And let's all meet on our knees in tabletop. Take one leg out to the side and we're just going to make great big circles with our hip. Continuing to warm up, loosen up. So nice big circles. Reverse the direction. So many muscles in there to give attention to. And then step that foot through, come to kneeling lunge once again. Either foot is fine. We're going to bring the hands onto the inside of that foot. Straight arms, palms on the ground. And we'll start to juice the hip. So drop the knee and hug the knee in. Drop to the outside edge of that front foot. And then back to a flat foot. You can turn your toes out a little bit if that feels good to you. And then let's keep that knee open out to the side. You can stay up on your hands, or this is a place where you might drop down to a block with your elbows, maybe all the way to the floor. So take deep breaths here. Imagine that you have lungs that reach clear down into your hips, so breathe that deeply. And coming back up to your hands if you're not already. Then bring the foot to the floor once again, flat foot. And then let's press our hands onto the knee and we'll lift up. So we're going to come into a little bit of a back bend here. Massive hip flexor stretch. You can stay with your hands on your leg, or if you like, fly your arms behind you, reaching back in that direction. Chest open, heart full, deep breaths. And then release your hands to the ground. Let's scoop that knee back and press to child's pose. And we'll come forward and back. You might notice a big difference in those two hips. And switching sides. So take the other knee out and start to make big circles through the hip. Reverse the direction. And then we'll just step that foot to the top of the mat, coming down into kneeling lunge, and our hands are on the inside of that foot. Let's start to juice the hip. Drop the knee out and bring the knee in. You might be making some sounds right now. This is where those of us with tight hips are really feeling it. So you might find yourself moaning or sighing or cussing. Let's let the knee come out to the side, and you can either stay up on your hands or lower to a block or down to the floor. Just let gravity lower that knee. And take your deep breaths. And let the foot come flat to the floor, rise up. Back to kneeling lunge, and then press your hands to that knee and gently come into your back bend. And folks, remember with back bends, if you ever feel sharp pain, you need to come out of it. That's not one of those pains that you can work through. It's always a sign that you've gone over an edge. And it's common to feel those in the low back. So try to lift up out of the low back and let the back bend happen up here in the thoracic spine. Stay here or fly your arms behind you. And breathe. And then we'll release the fingertips to the floor. Scoop that leg back. Shift forward and back. Just let that energy start to make its way out of your hips. We store so much tension here. Just kind of breaking it up. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. You have the option to stay here or take a vinyasa, whatever feels best to your body. All right, when you are ready, take your right leg up in the air, bend the knee and open that hip, and we're going to do circles here. Both directions. Finding the tight spots, polishing the edges. And then kick that leg straight up in the air. Exhale, step the foot toward the top of your mat. Dropping the back heel, let's come on up. Warrior one. It is Warrior Wednesday, so we got to do some warriors. On the inhale, lift tall, find a little back bend. Exhale, bend the knee, come back to Warrior one. Really mindful of the low back. Inhale, lift into that hip flexor. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, come down. Beautiful, everybody. Arms reach behind. Interlace the hands behind you. You could also grab your strap if that felt better last time. So opening the chest, lengthening the spine. Let's find a little back bend here. On the exhale, toppling forward into humble warrior. Slow motion, the head comes down, the knuckles lift high. And then we'll let our fingertips fall to the floor. Let's walk to a wide straddle, turning our toes out to the corners of the mat, and then we'll just start to lunge side to side. You can stay up high and make this a small bend, or you can come down over the heel, lifting your opposite toes. And let's end up again toward the front of your mat. Tuck the toes and step to downward facing dog. Stay here or take a vinyasa, your choice. Whatever helps you stay warm and feel good in your body. Let's raise our left leg, bend the knee, and start hip circles here. Both directions. And then we'll extend that leg, stepping through, plant the foot, drop the back heel and come on up. Warrior one. Take a second, make those feet firm, your legs strong. And then we'll just inhale, straightening that front leg, lift the fingers high. Exhale, bend the knee again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And bend that knee. Good, arms come behind. Either grab a strap or your hands. And then inhale, open into this nice back bending posture. Beautiful, chest open, spine long. Deep breath in, and then exhale forward. Humble warrior, take your time. Knuckles come up high, the head drops down low. Deep, full breaths, everybody. And then releasing your fingers, walk your hands again to the long edge of your mat. Turn the toes out and let's lunge again side to side, finding a little more through those inner thighs. And then let's come to the center. Turn all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. Reach your arms behind once again, and let's find a forward fold here. Notice if your breath got a little shallow. Slow your breath. Picture again that swan gliding on a calm, clear body of water. Let your body find that kind of calm. On the next exhale, let your fingers touch the floor and continue right here just to hold and breathe as your hamstrings lengthen. It's not easy living inside of a tight body. Sometimes it can feel like our skin is just too restrictive. And these stretches give us a little bit of freedom. Lifting up to a flat back, find some length in your spine, and then start to turn again toward the top of your mat. Pivot your feet. Let's bring the back foot to meet the front and lift up into this half lift, a little bit of a cow or up dog feeling here.
This is for you.
Bring your strap with you as you come to stand. All right, I have a feeling you guys are gonna say, that was hard at the end of this one. It's feeling like work, isn't it? Okay, so with our strap, you're gonna just make a little loop and we're going to play with balance right here. So this is gonna be kind of like dancer's pose. So you're gonna put that strap around the left foot and it will come behind you. So see how that's kind of lifting up my ankle, right? And hopefully your strap is long enough that you can bring it up over your shoulder, like that. Okay, so we're just gonna start to pull down on the strap and it's just gonna cause that foot to lift behind you. So I want you to go to where you can find balance and pause right there. You can take one arm out to the side onto a wall or furniture if you like, but press down into your foot, lift through the crown, and as your body gives you permission, pull the strap forward, let that knee come up a little higher. Getting a nice stretch in the hip flexor and the quadricep.
This is for you.
You are welcome to lift the arms higher and pull yourself up into more of a dancer's pose, or you can keep the strap here on the shoulder. Space and length in the body. When you're ready, release. Pause in mountain pose. Let your body get grounded and centered again. And we'll switch. We'll take the strap around the right ankle. So that's fun. As soon as you find that strap around the ankle, bring it up over your shoulder. Give yourself time to just kind of play with that teeter-totter action. And just start to lift and lengthen. And keep the strap resting on the shoulder. And take the arm or arms overhead. Play with your balance here as you open up across your right hip flexor. And then start to release that. You can set the strap down. Turn your toes out. Take a nice wide stance. Let's let some of that energy go. Lift up and blow it out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Three more times, everybody. Beautiful. Inhale your arms all the way up, stretch out like a 5-pointed star, and then exhale, come down into goddess. Widen even more. Those hips nice and strong and open. Palms turn up, arms reach, chest lifts. Celebrate that full moon we all just breathed and lived under. Hands to the knees. Bring your left shoulder across toward your right knee and press with your hand, opening up again through those hips. We're on our way to the floor. So let your breathing start to slow. Come up and switch. And centering it out. We'll turn toward the front of the mat. We'll bring our hands down and step back, downward facing dog. Last chance, stay here or take a vinyasa, and we'll meet in child's pose. Really beautiful, everybody. Lovely. All right, so we're heading into our first pigeon pose. We're going to do this a few times. All right, so coming up into a tabletop position, let's bring our right knee to our right wrist. And you might have heard many times teachers say, square your shin to the top of the mat. That is not a great cue because it's only going to work if you've got super flexible hips. So you're going to let your foot be wherever your knee is most happy. I like to take a block and place it underneath my hip. And that helps me keep my spine in a straight line. Okay. Another nice tip, because we've got props today, is you could kind of straddle over a bolster, right? You bring your foot up over a bolster so your hips are right on top of that cushion. And to a lot of people's knees, that feels amazing. So from here, let's lower to elbows. You might even bring your hands or a block under your forehead. And the goal here is just to get the hips to release a bit. Notice the sensation around the outside of your right hip and the front of your left hip. Allow your belly to move with your breath, expanding down as you inhale and squeezing in as you exhale. Just let your belly be like a little pump. Just releasing anything that feels unnecessary. And then raising up again onto our hands, let's lift onto fingertips. So we're going to find a little back bend here. Drop your shoulders back, lift your chin, lift your chest. Breathe here. And then we'll release, kind of drag any props out of the way. Tuck your back toes and kick that right leg up. Give it some movement. Circles, bend and straighten, in and out. Just give your hips some movement. And then we'll switch. So come down to your knees, drag your left knee to your left wrist. Again, keeping in mind, you want to place the left foot where your left knee feels no sharp pain. Might feel good to put a block under that hip to keep your body straight, or you could straddle over a bolster. Let's lower down. Make a little pillow out of your hands or use your block, whatever you've got. We want to find rest here, even in a slightly uncomfortable position. Let your belly begin to be a pump, expanding big as you inhale and squeezing in tight as you exhale. And even that motion is graceful and calm. Like the swan on the lake, let your breath not disturb the surface of the water, even though it's a big, slow breath. Coming back up, placing the hands on the mat. Let's tuck our toes and we'll sweep that leg up and give it a nice big shake. Circles, just movement. And then downward facing dog. All right, I think we're ready for next steps. Go ahead and drop your knees. We're going to bring the right knee forward again. So if you found it helpful to use your block or bolster, you can grab that again. And find your way down into your pigeon on the right side. Okay, this is going to be a little more tricky. We're going to use the strap around the left ankle, just like we did when we were standing. So it takes a little finagling to find that, but we want that strap to come over our shoulder again, just like we did before. Okay. So that is really helpful to have this cushion underneath you if you feel like you're wobbling. You're going to bring your right fingertips to the floor and come up straight. And then you can just start to walk that strap to where the foot comes in a little closer to you. You can take both arms up if you like. If you have your balance, again, that's sitting on this cushion is super, super helpful. Big, big quadricep stretch. Back bend happening, hip opening. This is a very complicated posture. Here we are. I think we'll make it simpler to get to the other side. You can go ahead and release your strap, swing the left leg around. And I'm sitting on this cushion, so it's going to be easy to just, first of all, loop my right ankle, bend my left knee, and scoot that left leg back. See if that was a little easier to get into that way. It's a little doing, but I think it's worth it. So we're always looking for points of sharp pain and trying to move away from those. So if that back knee is in a weird angle, keep wiggling until you find its right best place. And then we're just bringing that foot as close to the body as we can. You can lift your arms if you like. One hand down, one on the strap. Sit as tall as you possibly can, creating a nice little back bend. Hip opener. Take a moment to be proud of and amazed by whatever your body is doing right now. It's complicated. And we'll release that. Okay, so full pose. I'm gonna lose the props and I'm gonna do my best. So let's move through the hips a little bit. I think we are ready. So if you enjoyed using that strap, you're gonna place the strap around your left ankle. We're gonna come into pigeon on the right. For the full expression of this pose, those props are actually gonna get in your way. So maybe what we just did is your full expression for today. So working our way into pigeon, we'll start to bring that foot up and you can use your strap. You wanna have a tall spine. I'm actually gonna cross shoulders. So I'm holding the strap in my right hand and you're gonna reach back with your left hand. And if your foot and your hand touch, try for the inside of that ankle. Once you've got that, you can let go of your band. And that's a nice starting point. If you want to go a little farther, bend your elbow and wiggle your toes to the bend of the elbow. This is about where my practice has me right now. You can touch your fingers. Maybe, maybe not. Ooh, that is massive. Oh, tuck your toes, bend your knees, and come back into downward facing dog. Ooh. Thank you, Kathleen, for the back bending suggestions this month. Second side, friends, left knee forward. You can loop the band around your right ankle if you like. Kind of is a good, I feel like it's nice training wheels. Knee forward. And folks, that's just a great place to stay. Just come into pigeon again. Come into pigeon. If you have the strap, you're gonna want it now over your left shoulder so that you can reach back with the right hand to the right ankle and grab for the inside of the ankle. When you get that, you can drop your band. If that is a go, wiggle your hands down, bend your elbow, and let the toes come into the crease of the elbow. You kind of need to be on the top of that knee or quadricep in order for that to happen. How we doing? Whew, everybody say woo. Let's go into downward facing dog one more time. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. Let's lower the knees. We'll flip ourselves around to a seat and we'll hug our knees into our chest. Well-deserved hug. Let's move around on the back, knees out and in. I just want to give you a little bit of encouragement. I've been practicing yoga for over 20 years, and I hope you appreciate that I'm still willing to show you the limits of my practice. And it is a practice. It's not a perfect. Come into happy baby. It makes me excited to think that as we age, there's always something to work towards with yoga. Something our bodies can learn or relearn. All right, so that took us right up to the end of our time before Shavasana. If you have any other movements your body wants to do, go ahead and do those now. And then when you're ready, extend your arms, extend your legs, and just come from that place of deep stretching and striving, working, back to the calm, clear lake. The swan gliding on the water. Let your breathing now be softer, smoother, as if not to disturb the surface of the water. As you observe your body, you might notice tingling as muscles let go of their holding. You might notice sweat on your skin, the heat your body builds. Stay with that smooth breath. Allow yourself a moment of rest. As you continue resting, I'll leave you today with the words of Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. The one who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Start that plan by stretching here, breathing deeply, sighing as you roll to one side, and gently press yourself back to a seat. Let's open our arms wide in gratitude and wonder for this one wild and precious life. And as our hands meet in front of our hearts, acknowledging the gift that these minutes are that we have spent together here. Thank you all for showing up for yourselves. Thank you for taking this practice with you into the rest of your day and making the world a little more calm and clear and serene. Namaste.